and thank you for joining me at Spooky Reviews. I'm the Ghostess, and one of my favorite things about horror movies is that when they're good, but when they're bad, they're better. So in honor of Friday the 13th, I decided to look back at some of the best of the worst and count down my top 13 so bad it's good horror movie death scenes. Let's start at number 13, Child's Play 2. Now, Child's Play 2 actually has a special place in my heart because I accidentally stumbled on a clip of it when I was about 5 years old, and it freaked me out. The idea that my toys couldn't come to life and kill me was absolutely terrifying, and the idea of the movie scared me for years. Then when I was an adult, I actually watched the movie and realized that it was pretty ridiculous. The premise is that serial killer Charles Lee Ray transferred his soul into a doll's body using voodoo, and needs to transfer it back out into the doll's owner, Andy. But he spends most of the franchise's running time killing everybody else around him in needlessly wacky if creative ways. In Child's Play 2, he attempts to ambush Andy after school during detention, but comes across his teacher instead. Now granted, he does stab her in the chest with an air pump, but then he proceeds to beat her to death with a ruler. Now, I'm no expert in murder, but I'm pretty sure that ruler would break before she did.
Been very naughty, Miss Kettlewell.
Now who's gonna chaperone the girls on their big trip?
Sometimes I doubt your commitment to Sparkle Motion.
Number 12, Final Destination 2. Final Destination series poses an important philosophical question. What if death was a Rube Goldberg machine? It's known for sequences that have elaborate cause and effect, setting up a character's death. But some of the franchise's best kills are the ones that come seemingly out of nowhere. But this can't be said for Final Destination 2, when a young man's love of chasing pigeons turns out to be his undoing. Just look how easily he gets crushed. It's like his body is made entirely of jam. Number 11, Case 39. Case 39, starring Renee Zellweger and Bradley Cooper, has so many problems I can't even begin to unpack them right here. All you need to know is that Bradley Cooper is pissed off a very mean little demon child who is using his childhood fear of hornets against him. What are the hornets going to do, you might ask? Are they going to sting him to death? Drive him mad so he commits suicide? Cause him to crash into the shower door and impale himself on broken glass? Or maybe stumble and hit his head on the tub? Nope. The hornets cause him to break his own neck. Somehow. Through demon magic. Number 10. The Haunting. In this terrible remake / terrible adaptation of Shirley Jackson's novel, Owen Wilson's character Luke incurs the wrath of the ghosts haunting Hill House. In retaliation, he's taken on a magic carpet ride across the room, launched into the fireplace, and is decapitated by a swinging metal lion's head. There's something in the way that the characters react to his head hitting the ground that gets a chuckle out of me every single time. Number 9. Christina's House. There's a chance you haven't heard of Christina's House, and I hadn't either until I stumbled upon it one day in a Goodwill, but it is a 50-cent purchase I do not regret. I was able to find the whole thing on YouTube, and I recommend checking it out if you don't mind stilted acting and nonsensical plots. It had me sold as a so bad it's good classic before it even got to the title card. All thanks to this opening kill of the cookie salesgirl.
Hello, I'm here selling cookies. Raise funds for our annual...
Number 8. Children of the Corn. Now, I am honestly a huge Stephen King fan, but I don't really think all of his works translate well to film. Even some of his better ones have really ridiculous moments. Case in point, Isaac's death scene in Children of the Corn.
I did everything you wanted. No!
Oh man, every time I watch that scene, I always think of those Sky Dancer toys from the 90s.
They're flying! Fly for me. Just for me, Skylanders dance for me. Wow, they really fly!
Number 7. Maximum Overdrive. Now, Children of the Corn is pretty wacky, but Maximum Overdrive is so ridiculous, it comes right back around and becomes completely amazing. When all of the machines in the world gain sentience during the passing of a comet, they fly into a murderous rage, and no one is safe from anything, even soda machines.
You guys gonna help me pick this stuff up or what? Uh-oh. No sodas. What the hell?
Number 6. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Halloween 3 Season of the Witch has nothing to do with Michael Myers, but it does have everything to do with laughing your ass off. The bad guy's master plan is to sell Halloween masks that are endowed with magic from Stonehenge, and if they're worn during a certain television broadcast, will cause the wearer's head to dissolve into bugs and snakes. The movie gets points for creativity, but the whole concept is so bizarre, I can't help but laugh while watching it. Number 5. Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. In the 8th installment of Friday the 13th, Jason decides to take Manhattan, much like the Muppets before him. He stows away in a ship headed toward New York City, containing a senior graduating class, which includes Julius, an athletic young man who tries to battle Jason in an old-fashioned round of fisticuffs. I'll give you one guess to who wins the fight.
Take your best shot. Motherfucker.
Number 4. Deathbed, the Bed That Eats. Deathbed, the Bed That Eats gives you pretty much everything you need to know in the title, and I'm fairly certain the filmmakers started there and worked their way backwards. It's about a bed, and if you fall asleep in it, you end up digested in its stomach? It combines a really zany concept with a convoluted plot and really bland acting, which ends up being a recipe for comedy gold. I could honestly pick almost any death scene in this movie for this list, but I went with the one that made me laugh the hardest and seemed like it was ripped right out of a Monty Python sketch. Number 3, Deadly Friend. Deadly Friend is the classic tale of boy meets girl, girl dies, boy turns girl into a robot, robot goes on a killer rampage. After a grouchy neighbor steals their basketball, our titular deadly friend heads over to get some revenge, in the most hilarious way imaginable.
Damn shids.
Number 2, Troll 2. Troll 2 is one of the most ridiculous movies ever made. And if you like So Bad It's Good horror, you've probably already seen it a couple of times. The premise is that there's a group of trolls that trick humans into eating their food so it turns them into vegetation so they can eat them.
What's the matter? Aren't you hungry?
Actually, I like popcorn.
Well, no problem. All we have to do is heat it up.
Of all the ridiculous death scenes in a movie just chock full of ridiculous death scenes, I gotta go with sexy popcorn. Like, whose idea was this? What is even happening here? How is this killing him? Does this kill him? We never see him in the movie again, so yeah, this is his death scene. I have no idea who thought that this would be scary or sexy, but I'm guessing it's fulfilling a Rule 34 out there somewhere.
More popcorn.
And number 1 So Bad It's Good death scene? Tales from the Darkside, the Cat from Hell segment. I know, it's a lot of Stephen King, but this is hands down the hardest I have ever laughed at a horror movie death scene in my life. Oh man, I seriously did not see the ending of this coming. So when an assassin is hired to kill a cat by an old millionaire who blames it for all of his misfortunes, he ends up finding that the feline is much harder to get rid of than he initially thought. After a maddening night of attempt after attempt, his final showdown with the beast ends in the most unusual way imaginable. So those are my top 13 So Bad It's Good horror movie death scenes. Thank you for joining me at Spooky Reviews. I'm the Ghostess, and if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and follow me at Spooky Ghostess on Twitter. Boo for now. Oh, run away, run away with me. Oh, run away with me. And we'll go